Today's evolution, they have us out here at a farm and we're going to be conducting some wildland initial training. I guess it's supposed to consider some burns, some back burns, control lines and fire lines, and we'll get to use the equipment and hopefully learn some really good stuff today.
Have you ever done this before?
One time at Franklin, I got to fight a brush fire, but I showed up in structural firefighting gear, so it was a painful lesson learned.
I think it was good. Didn't do much. Stayed at home, hung by the pool.
Yeah.
So the last, weekend of summer, but it was good. We're doing Wildland fires. It's kind of all I know. I don't know how deep in the woods we're going or where we're going. I don't know what we're really doing. I don't know what we can do. I'm hoping we're setting the woods on fire in a controlled environment, but that'd be kind of cool. But Wildland fires all day today at a farm.
So, the way the day is going to play out for you folks is, first thing you'll do is you'll get your PPE. If you don't have it, we have shirts, helmets, and gloves for you to use. We got shirts coming over here, guys. There we go. Somewhere.
I hope this fits. It's going to be a shit show. Awesome. There's got to be something. Maybe they mislabeled this one.
Let's try one more of this.
As you're moving, he's going to say clearing ahead or whatever he's going to tell you. Clearing ahead, fire's coming on us, we got to deploy. So you should be, at that point, you'd be dropping your strike pack, you'd be grabbing your shelter, and you should be doing this on the run.
Deploy on the slope!
Deploy on the slope! Deploy! All right, doing that, you know how to do it, shake it out, get in it, and then he's going to tell you to deploy in this area. But you all want to stay in a group, right? Because it's hard to keep accountability if you got people over there and people over here and people over here. You want to all stay in a group. This is your open area right here. Okay? So we get what we're doing?
Actually, it was fun. I like the shelters. I'm all about it. I would do shelters all day. But the last time I did deploy I deployed it in the tall grass and we went uphill. Huge spider, had to have been this big, crawled in. And I'm like, trying not to scream so no one thinks like I hurt myself. And I'm just like this. And someone's like, I could see you like punching your shelter. I was like, big spider. I ended up getting it, but I was trying to hide some mental breakdown. It was like crawling. I was like, oh my God. And it was huge. Almost ate me for breakfast.
My name's Dave Jones, and I work at the Fire Academy as a program coordinator for Wildland firefighting classes. And today we did the practical. They seem to be like most students. We have to show them how to use the hand tools and how to do different things, but they seem to catch on pretty well, just like most students do.
You got a fire right here. Should we stick on this?
Yeah, so why don't you bump up a little bit more? Stay about 10 feet behind you. Next person in front of you.
You can walk with it.
That's a good cutting tool.
Oh, this is fantastic. Yeah, look at that. What we're doing today is conducting a scratch line right now. So we've been putting out spot fires and moving to move debris out of the way as we move along, keeping our spacing and working as a 25-man unit. As you can see down the line, we're pulling material out and trying to clean it up, prevent any the fire from jumping over and finding fresh fuel.
How does this compare to structural stuff?
It's a different animal. I mean, fire is fire, but it behaves differently out here. You got to take in condition the wind and relative humidity and everything else, plus manpower issues. So it's a little bit different.
But these are the kind of things that I like to set up, different scenarios for them to be thinking about, and put everything they learned into taking care of everything safely. We set up a scenario of a slop over where we had a tree burning for quite a while. It had slopped over or crossed over the line that they had, and we're going to light it up, and then we're going to call for the crew, and tell them they now have a slop over and their fire line has been jeopardized. The fire is now outside of their line. Okay, stay right on top, and just go light her up. Keep going, walk right down it. Ted, go ahead and call for him. So this is just one of those things that's so important to protect your line, is having somebody patrolling this at all times, because these kind of things here can really raise Cain with firefighting efforts. So I want you guys all to come over here before you do anything, please.
All right, sir.
Okay?
Everybody up front.
Now in this case, what we've done is we've set up a scenario of a slop over. So what you guys have to do now is deal with the slop over. And that's your job. My job was to get it to you. Now it's your job to, with your crew boss over there, figure out how you're going to handle this and take care of it. Okay? I've been involved in teaching forestry for 38, 39 years. What I've always considered my part of the job in Wildland was to teach. It's good. I like it. I like it a lot, and it's just it's a wonderful thing. Love every minute of what I do out here.
And we just kind of keep working that way. That's what a good boneyard looks like, and that's what a good boneyard is.
Yeah, the relationships, I mean, you're going to remember all these people, that's for sure. I mean, you're working hand in hand with them every day and working hard. It's pretty hard to forget the kind of people that are coming through this class.
No, I'm good, man. I just jogged a liter.
Fireline? A fireline. It's just the initial line. So same thing, just in a line, 10 feet apart, and we'll work from there. Okay, I'll show you how we're going to do that as we go. Okay, so line it up.
I put this through here, but that's...
So yeah, I think
I'm like,
we're walking down that way.
I'm confused.
You're doing a good job. Proud of you.
I don't think I'm doing anything.
Yeah, because we started on the...
It's been a long day. It's been a long day. I wish we were able to do like almost like more like smaller groups, because I think the groups are just too big. I feel like I've been doing landscaping for the deer and the woods. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's been fun, but it's been fun, I guess, hanging out with everybody and just like being able to just talk and like not like have a class scheduled. I feel like that movie Holes. You ever seen that movie Holes? The Disney Holes? That's what I feel like. But no, it's been fun because it's nice to be out of the classroom and off of the drill yard, like something different. So I'm still smiling. It's still fun, but I wish I was doing more and there was more fire, but it is what it is.
California in particular has just been getting hammered year after year, and I guess it'd be good to know that if they needed people to fight forest fire, that New Hampshire trains their basic structural firefighters in how to do this.
Is that something you'd be interested in doing?
Absolutely not.
Why?
I'm an old man now, and this is it's a young man's game. Even with the basic firefighter 1 training, it's tough on the body. It's just really hard. If it was easy, everyone would be a firefighter at the end of the day.
We started the day with search and rescue, block 1, which is just the fundamentals of search, and some basic survival techniques. There's a separate survival module, but we give them the basics so that they can move through any obstructions that they have so that they can successfully search in a building. And then we finish off the afternoon with our SCBA maze, confidence maze is what we call it. And we can make that as hard or as easy as we want, but it's really about learning. We're trying to reinforce all of the techniques that we taught earlier in the day. And that's kind of what we're trying to go for in here today.
What is the maze, and why are you guys doing it?
so that we get aware of coming across obstacles that we don't know are there and learning how to get through them, get past them. You might get caught, you might need to get help from your fellow firefighters. Got to make it through, push through. Keep going.
Ready to go? Ready.
It's a dual purpose. It's a confidence builder, but it's also a check for us to see how they're doing. At this point in the program, we've given them the fundamentals of being comfortable in an SCBA. And we kind of put them under a little bit more stress and a little bit more anxiety because there is an element of stress and anxiety you learn a little bit better, but we're also evaluating them at the same time. The first group, in my mind, they did exceptionally well. I was under the impression that prior to today they had done the maze. So they got most of the way through that, and in my mind I was thinking they moved through that smoothly enough, they were communicating with each other well enough, they went through all the obstacles, especially the more difficult ones, with relative ease. So like my first comment when it came out was, wow, you guys did that better. And then I thought again to ask if they'd actually done it, and they in fact hadn't done it. And the difference I think with that group is, having worked with them earlier in the day, that group is a little more cohesive. And I think the element that was brought forth in that first group is the communication between them, because they were a little more cohesive of a group. They were communicating a little bit more fluently with each other.
Alright, see you on four, see you on four. Alright, go through the tunnel. There you are.
And what I'm just trying to keep an eye on is the pace, how fast they're moving through. Are they getting separated? If they start getting separated, that tells me there's a problem, there's somebody hung up, and that happened. There was a huge gap and a lot of silence. So that's an indicator that someone's having trouble with an obstacle. Came around, and there was in fact somebody in a tube, which is not what we want to see. The worst place to get stuck in there is inside the tube, and she was face down. It looked like she wasn't moving, so there's a moment of panic where we've really got a problem. In my mind, I'm starting to think we got to get her evacuated out of here. We got to get her up and over the wall. But let's find out what's going on.
So when I first went over, I made it to the flat landing, and honestly I was considering turning because it was wide enough that I could completely rotate my body, and I almost dropped my legs over to go down and under, but I'm like, I'm already in this position, so I'll keep going. I didn't know, wasn't sure, so I just kept going. And when I went down underneath and I bent, my back and my legs bent like this.
You all right?
Everybody okay?
You good? What's going on?
Rick, are you all right? I'm all right.
You all right? Keep going. You good to go?
And I pulled my back muscle. So when I got down, I laid there, told everyone to hold up for a second. That is a very difficult thing to do. You want to keep going. You don't want to hold anyone up, but honestly, if you don't say you can't, you know, then honestly, further on it could be worse. So I had a few seconds. Person in front of me pulled me forward so that the other people could keep coming. Lay there for a couple more seconds, got up, kept moving. Felt it a little ways, that's why I was worried about later on with the air pack making it through. I didn't want to twist wrong, so I was going to take it off, but went through. He said, you got this, you can make it. So, and I did, and we're good. Feels good.
There you go. Told you could do it. Just roll a little bit. Just roll. There it is. And it turns out I think she just had a muscle cramp or something, and she just needed to take a second to ease it out. But inside of that tube, there is no room to ease a cramp. There's no room to get comfortable. She just had to take a second and just let it pass, try to get herself together, and she handled it pretty well. I've seen other people get pinned in there and get stuck and not handle it quite as well. There was a bit of, on her part, it was a compliment to her that she was able to, even though the situation was what it was, she did not lose her cool. She was able to hold it together, and the other group responded well to get her out of the tube and kind of figure out what was going on. I intervened. She said she was all set. She got up and kept moving and went through like it didn't happen.
Did it help build your confidence in your abilities?
Yes, definitely. Because when you go in not knowing, that's usually the hardest thing. You know, it doesn't really, for me, it doesn't matter what it is. You know, even coming here to start, I didn't know what, you know, to expect. My stress level was a little high, you know, but once you do something and you're like, you know, hey, you can do something not knowing, then the next time you have to do it, you're a lot more confident in it.
Today we have the Hazmat operations exam.
Like if a dam fails, is it a secondary containment?
They asked for incident commander. Nobody raised their hand.
Respond to 1 Main Street for a building fire.
It took a little longer than I think we thought it would be just because of that, but rescue team came in, forced the door pretty quickly.
Rescue 1, go ahead and commit to your primary search.
I opened the bail and started flowing, and I think there were some kinks in the hose, and I saw it sputtering and spraying.
But I think we got the hang of it after a little while. Boston's a speed demon, which didn't really help me. Trying to catch up and like right into a wall. Blacked out for a few seconds. Thought my tooth fell out, so that's cool. But do I?
Do you still have them all?
I don't know, you tell me.
Yes.
But I thought we worked really good together. Definitely getting the hang of it.